Hey guys, Clough here, and today I have a new pack for you. I know I've done this, I think I've covered this topic like 5 times on my channel, and I swear this is probably the last unless they add a command that directly does it or make this better in some way. But on my Discord, Osama bin Yeti, as funny as it is to say their name, had pointed something out that if you use an area effect cloud to deal wither damage, it will not show blackened hearts and will instantly edit the player's health. And I don't think it overwrites current wither effects. Like, it's a whole separate system, area effect clouds dealing wither damage. So essentially I took that idea and I applied it to my custom player health, as you are probably here for, and I created a pack that lets you edit the play or deal custom damage amounts to the player based on a scoreboard, and you can do it for any health amount, and it updates within 1 tick, as opposed to before where it would take a little bit of time. The process and the logic is still the same as my previous video, so I'm just going to be covering how the pack works, as well as how to use the pack. But the logic is the same as my previous video in the sense that we are reducing the player's health using /attribute, remembering what their previous health was supposed to be, updating the player health like by dealing damage to them, and then restoring it to the previous amount. Just this can happen way faster than the previous video on this. Anyways, so here we have 42 health or 21 hearts, and I am going to deal 21 damage. So what that's going to do is that will take away this many hearts, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. There you go. So you can count it yourself to verify. Now we'll remove 3, which will remove a heart and a half. And all you have to do to use this pack, once you have it downloaded, is edit the player's HP_DMG score and then put the damage you want to deal to them, and it will do it for you. Of course, there are some caveats in the sense that if you have some kind of a system where you're already trying to update players' health, you might have to take this pack, dissect it, and mess around and work it into your own commands in terms of how it works. But if you don't have something that's already manipulating the player's health based on a scoreboard, and you don't plan to have something in the future manipulate the player's health based on a scoreboard, you can pretty much just use this modularly. You can just throw it in. It is incredibly efficient. Let me do data pack list, and let me see what I have turned on. I have nothing. Okay, if I go F3 Alt, you can see the bottom bar right there, and you can see if I do 10, there's no spike whatsoever because this thing is hella efficient. It runs, I think, only 30 commands and 3 repeating commands that have 3 selectors that are at A's, so not bad at all. So let's take a look at how to install the pack. So you're going to go to the link in the description. It will be a zip file called CWHP, I'm making it right now, control, and you just drag this into this zip into your data packs folder, type /reload, and it will already be working. There will not be a custom message to help you, so just to test it, do scoreboard player set at S HP damage to some number. Do that while in create survival or adventure, and your health should update and get hit by it. If it doesn't, you installed it incorrectly. Now, if you want to mess around with this pack, you'll have to unzip it. But if you don't want to mess around with it, then you're good. Now, I'm going to go in kind of the details of how it's able to work. But if all you wanted was a module, then there you go. There's your module. But let's take a look at the details of how this works. It's actually incredibly simple. There is quite a few functions, but that is mainly holed up in here where there's 146 files. And that's so that it works with every HP level. But the core functionality is incredibly simple. So you start with, you have 3 scores. You have a score that says how much damage to deal, a score that says how much health the player has, and a score that keeps how much their max health was supposed to be. Okay, so every tick we do something here, but this actually causes a 1 tick delay without actually implicitly stating or having a scoreboard, because essentially this conditional for having HP old equal to 1 ... will only happen if this middle command runs first, in which case this will happen in the next tick. So that's kind of how I instantiate a 1 tick delay without having a implicit 1 tick delay. So that's one of the things that you might mess up if you try and dissect my pack and inject it into yours in some way, is not putting this before this and having no tick delay on accident. So this actually creates an implicit 1 tick delay. So what happens is anybody that isn't in creative and isn't in spectator, and if they have some damage to apply, then run the deal damage function. The deal damage function is where the magic happens. So we remember what the previous max health was supposed to be, so we can return it later. And then we take the, this is where we essentially take the current health and we subtract the damage from it to get a new max health that we're supposed to set to, and we run the set HP function. The set HP function is essentially either going to kill you if you have less than 0, or it's going to run a octary, 8-branch search tree to get down to where it says, okay, well, if it's 1, then set 1. If it's 2, then set 2. If it's 3, then set 3. If it's 4, then set 4. Okay, so this sets the HP down. And then the real magic, this is where the real magic occurs. This is what the guy in the Discord showed, was it summons an area effect cloud with a radius of 0, so it pretty much will only hurt the person where this is spawned, a duration of 6, and an age of 4, with an effect of wither that lasts for 1. Okay, so that's where he added, and I threw on an extra spice. This is the extra spice. We add an effect of regeneration. So essentially what happens is the wither deals half a heart, and the regeneration gives half a heart. So when you run this, the player loses no health. And then essentially that causes the health to be lower and updates. Then the next tick, this will run because HP old was set to 1 here. So then the next tick, this will run, and it will return the health. So when it returns the health, it will set the HP that was in the previous tick to, it'll just reset the HP and set the score to 0. Okay, so that'll put your HP back to what it's supposed to be. And this is constantly setting HP damage to 0. I put it outside of this loop in case you were in creative and got the damage applied. You won't just like have everything applied at once when you switch back to survival. It's kind of like a convenience thing for people in creative in case like you're trying to deal damage to them, but it's not supposed to deal damage to them. If I didn't do this in the main tick, then you would switch back to adventure and instantly die potentially. Anyways, that's literally it. That's literally it. It's that easy. It's that simple. Obviously, if you wanted to apply this to your own, you could add certain rules inside the deal damage set, because you don't really want this to happen and then to mess with the health after this happens. You wouldn't want that to happen because their player would have artificially changed health from the set damage function. But anyways, that's pretty much all I wanted to go into on this. If you thought that was useful, leave a like. The download, as always, is in the description. And the link to the Discord is in the description if you want to talk more about this. But anyways, that's pretty much it for today, guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Peace.